Hello, 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 everybody. Hi. So it's How to Tuesday. Oh, yeah. That's right. We're going to practice. This is our practice session. Yes, 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 it is. So say hello, hello, hello. If you're practicing with me tonight, there isn't an actual painting. We're just going to be doing practice. And tonight is fabric. What? Right? So we're going to learn how to do fabric. You know, tablecloths, flags, curtains, all that happy stuff. Fabric is in the house tonight, so I'm going to show you everything I know about fabric. I've been painting a very long time, probably about 30 years if I want to admit it, and I'm a self-taught painter, but I am going to show you guys all the tricks and tips that I've picked up along the way. So say hello if you're practicing with me tonight, and we'll get this started. Hi, Pasha. Hello, sweetheart. So let me show you the table of weapons. Hi, Tammy. How you doing, love? So let's see what we got going on here. I got we got all sorts of brushes going on here, so we're probably going to be using some flats and some small rounds and whatnot, so I'll let you know what I'm using when I grab it. I have my water, I have my paint, so I didn't know what I felt like painting with tonight, so I just put it all on there. Yellow, red, blue, black, and white. Okay, so this is your practice session. If you have any questions for me, 6,000% ask me. And I can't show you Mr. Butters because he's not in here right now. I don't know where he went. He just scurried off as soon as I hit the camera. Maybe he's getting camera shy. Ooh, you never know. So say hello. If you're practicing with me tonight, we're going to learn all about fabric. And if you have any questions, 6,000% ask me. And I'm going to write all your names down so I can do roll call. You know how much I love roll call. So welcome, fam. Welcome to How To Tuesday. And get yourselves ready, Freddy Spaghetti. And we're going to be all set. So I'm going to put you guys in your handy dandy holder. Oh, wait. I hear the Butters. Hold on. Butters. What you doing, buddy? Say hi to your fans. Hi. Say hi to your fans, buddy. There you are. I knew you weren't going to miss your opportunity. My little ham. I knew he wasn't going to miss his opportunity. So I'm going to put you in a handy dandy holder. There you go. That's why we introduced Butters, because he might actually chime in. Don't want you guys thinking I'm the one making the barking noises. Hello, right? So we're learning all about fabric tonight. So if there's anything you'd like to see, if any questions you have for me, please ask. 6,000%. And I hope you guys are getting your supplies together, right? I'm going to be working on canvas. You know, you could do this on mixed media paper. You can do this on even a piece of cardboard if you want. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So, got my Java. I hope you all have something good to drink for yourselves. Maybe a little snack, right? So, let's see. We've got Paja in the house and Tammy is here. Hi, guys. Hello. How y'all doing? So, say hello if you're painting with me tonight. And so I'm just working on a 20 by 16. Doesn't really matter what you're working on because we're just practicing tonight and we're going to learn all about fabric. So I'm just going to grab my 1-inch flat. I like to call him Big Boy. And I'm going to give him a little swirl tap dab. Because you want your bristles to be wet but not dripping. And I'm just going to throw a background on here real quick. I think I'm going to do some steely gray. So I'm going to grab some black. I'm going to grab some blue. And I'm going to grab a little bit of white, right? Steely gray, that's what we're going for. If you guys ever make a gray, add a little bit of blue paint to it. It gives it this awesome, like, almost like a, I don't know. I want to say pewter. Yep, that's the word I'm trying to say, pewter. So I'm just throwing a background on here real quick so my paint has something to glide across. Okay, so this is a reused canvas. This canvas I gessoed over whatever was on there beforehand. I don't know what was on there. Probably another practice session. And but we're gonna throw a background on here, real lickety split like. So while you guys get your stuffs together, okay? So this is acrylic paint. I use the same exact colors every single party, every single practice session. Always, 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 always red, blue, yellow, black, and white. Always, 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 always. Hi, Gracie. You get a reminder, otherwise you'd forget. That's a good idea, Gracie. Good stuff, good stuff. So how do you get a reminder? What do you follow the page? If you follow my page, you get a reminder. I don't know how it works on your end. Not really sure. All right, so we got Pasha, Gracie, and Tammy so far saying hello, hello, hello. I'm not really sure how it works on your end. So I think to get a reminder, you just have to follow the page, right? Is that how that works for you guys? I'm not really, I'm not 6,000% on that. I'm not really sure how that works out. Not really sure. Follow, right? Yep, Gracie, that's what I thought it was. I thought, you know, if you just follow my page and then whenever I go live, it must tell you, right? I'm working on the YouTube channel. I can't go live from YouTube yet because I don't have enough subscribers. So if you guys, all of my videos, well, most of my videos, the ones I have done recently are up on YouTube. I'm still trying to figure out how to get the past videos on YouTube. I have no idea. Ah, cool. So that's pretty easy peasy then, huh, Gracie? You just hit follow on my page. That's awesome. That's awesome that works like that. That is so cool. This stuff's pretty awesome. I'm not very tech savvy, so I'm the, you know, my daughter has to show me how to use all the electronics. She was an expert since she's been like 3. She's an expert since she's been like 3 years old. So she's 26 now, but she shows me all how to do all the electronic stuff. I'm not too savvy with it. I'm not that savvy with it. Nope. So I am just grabbing blue, black, gray, and a little bit of white. Throw background on here real fast. So I hope you guys are getting all your stuff together and you're going to practice along with me. So tonight is all about fabric. If there is something that you want me to show you in a how-to, 6,000%, let me know what it is and I will put it on the list. There's a bunch of how-tos that I've already done. So if I did it already, I'll just let you know. I'll just let you know that I did it already. No harm, no foul, right, guys? Right? I know. Totally, Gracie. I don't know. I'm not good with technology, right? I don't think I'm the only one, right? You're not good either? Yeah, so I don't feel so bad. I don't think I'm not the only one that, you know, and it's just like a lot of buttons. It's just so many buttons to hit. And as soon as I figure out the buttons, they change the buttons. So I don't understand that. Yes, Gracie. So I do have an event page. I do create an event page, but I don't go live from the event. I go live from my business page because it seems to be easier for people to find the replays and also to be able to watch the live. So I do that. I would like the Ring doorbell video setup. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, like, when somebody comes to your door, you can see who they are. Yeah. I got nothing for that. I got nothing. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So, I just put some blue, black, and white on my canvas there. And we're going to start off with painting fabric. So, the first thing I'm going to do is a draped piece of fabric, kind of like, you know, if you had a tablecloth or something like that, or maybe curtains. Oh, you could have the event clicked on. You might, I don't know. I'm not really sure. So I'm just going to do, we're going to be working in, I'm going to grab my white. I didn't clean my brush off. I'm just grabbing some white paint. And there's a few things, You know, fabric isn't that hard. It really isn't. There's just a couple of things you got to pay attention to. Number one is what's the fabric doing, right? So this piece of fabric I'm going to show you is going to be draping, right? So say I have my little table here, right? I have a little table, and then there's a piece of fabric coming right off the table. So I'm still using my 1-inch flat, and all I did was grab some white paint with my dirty brush, all right? So say there's some fabric draping off the corner of a table, right? Why not? Let's just say pretend, right? So I am just going to put these pieces in, and you know, you want to pay attention to the movement. Like, where is it going? What is it doing, right? So this is just draping off the edge of a table. Okay, so I am just putting in some pieces that would be flowing over, right? And now I'm just going to fill this in. I'm just going to fill this in. So say you had like a tablecloth or curtain, or, you know, whatever might be draped. You know what I mean? Maybe you're doing one of those still lifes that has the fabric in the background, right? So I'm going to put this shape in, just a few swoops. I just go over and drop, swoop, just like that. No real concern. Now I'm going to round this edge out, connect it to that one. Okay, so I'm going to round that edge out and connect it to that one. And I am just going to take my white paint, and I'm going to fill this all in. I'm just going to fill this in. That's all. And as I'm filling this in, you know, I'm thinking to myself, where is the folds going to be, and all of that happy stuff. You know, where is this going to be folded? Where's going to be all the little tiny spots, and of where the dark and lights are going to go. And I am just filling this in. That's it. So what did I do? All I did was swoop, and you saw me swoop with a couple of different lines. That is me. Hi, Gina. How you doing, sweetie? Yes, I do have a how-to wings. How-to wings is out there. Yep, and I did angel wings on that video. And there's also a paint party. I did an angel paint party, oh goodness, way back when. So wings are definitely out there. I'm not sure if it's on the YouTube channel. It's definitely on my business page. I do apologize. Like Gracie and I were talking about the technology. Facebook, for some reason, took all the titles off my videos. But if you click on, if you like just tap on the video, it'll tell you the title of the video. So my apologies for that. I'm not really sure what Facebook did, but so I am just filling this in white. And as I'm filling this in, I'm kind of, if you notice, I did like those drape lines, and now I'm kind of going up from the bottom. And I'm basically just kind of telling my brain, you know, I'm trying to figure out like where I want certain stuff, like where, you know, and you could do this having a reference photo, and you could do this very organic too, if you like, you know, so you don't have to, you know what I mean? Like, fabric's a lot of fun, and you don't have to turn around and have it all set in stone, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're trying to like 6,000% copy something verbatim, you can have some fun with this, okay? Because all fabric is lights and darks. All it is they have fancy terms for it, you know, but all it is basically blended shadows and highlights. It's all it is, and the way that it moves. You're welcome, Gina. No worries. So I just want to remind everybody, my videos are kid friendly, so you guys can keep that in mind in your comments, and I'll try to keep that in mind right here. And it is always, always, always free to watch. Tips are appreciated. So I am just going to post those links now. Okay, get the business out of the way. All right, so now that I have the base on there, you know, the base of what I want, now I'm going to turn around, and I like to start off with the lighter spots. So I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush. I'm going to get all that gray out of there, you know, and plus it got kind of goopy from putting the white on. So I'm just going to give it a nice swirl tap dab. Get it nice and clean for me. Still working with a 1-inch flat. Nothing fancy going on here. Nothing fancy. We don't get all fancy crazy. Okay, so I am just going to grab, I'm going to grab my white paint again. And it doesn't have to be stark white, you know. Some of that little dirty's getting in there. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, and so I'm going to grab my white paint again. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to look at my fabric and, let's see. Remember I did those lines before to kind of help me? But see how I have like this arch right here? So I know that a piece of this is probably highlighted out. So I'm going to highlight where this arch is, right? So I'm going to turn around and I'm going to swoop up, swoop, and I'm going to swoop up this way, swoop, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to put in the lighter piece, right? So, and when you're doing this, you know, less is more. Less is more, right? So if you're going to turn around and do this, less is more. Right, so you could always add more paint. You can't take paint away, but you could always add more paint. So I'm going to turn around and put in a highlighted piece right where this little elbow is. And I say highlighted like it's something really fancy. Now I'm just grabbing white paint. That's it. I'm just grabbing white paint. That's it. And I'm making this piece lighter than the rest of it. Making this piece lighter than the rest of it right here. Okay, and the more I go over it, the more it's going to disappear in and blend into what I already have. So you kind of want to just put it in there and keep it moving. If you noticed, I blended it in there twice already. And I didn't mean to do that, but I did. I did do that. Because I'm too busy talking and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. So, but that's okay. We're okay with that. So I'm going to put in this nice lighter piece right here. I'm going to put in this lighter piece right here. All right, so we're just going to drop that in. And I'm just softening it out. So we have a lighter piece. Now, if you notice, so now it seems like it's doing something just by putting in that one little lighter triangle piece, right? So now it looks like it's doing something. This looks like it's kind of folded under. This kind of looks like it's rippling towards the back. All right, so I'm going to grab my white paint again. And right where this part is, I'm liking this part. I'm thinking this part right here, right where it is curving, is going to wind up hitting some light. So I'm going to turn around and grab my white paint. And I'm just going to, bam, hit that elbow part right there. Hit that elbow part. And I am just going to, so the more I brush on top of it, the more, as long as my background is still wet, the more it's going to blend into my background. So I just put that white right there, and now I'm just going to soften it. So I'm just doing like little tiny pulls. Just doing little tiny pulls. That's it. And then I use my favorite blending tool. See that? I love this tool. This tool is always available, and it works great. It's my favorite blending tool in the whole wide world. You guys like that? Right? Keep it simple here. We keep it simple here. Nothing crazy. Okay, so I am putting in that highlighted piece on top. So if this was like bending over a table corner or something, then the light would be catching it right on that corner. Right on that corner. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to make this part, I want this part to pop out too. So I'm going to go down this edge right here. So all I'm doing this whole time, guys, is I put a base coat on. And now I'm just grabbing white paint and I'm putting where I want my creases to be. So I am just grabbing white paint and I'm putting where the creases are. You know, where, like, when fabric folds, it does like one of these. So you have pieces that are coming in the front and then pieces that are going to be at the back. front and back, right? So fabric moves, right? It kind of waves, do the wave. So I'm putting in pieces that are going to be curled out. And see how my hand is hitting light when I'm just showing you how I'm doing that? So that's the pieces that are curled out are going to hit light. So you're going to use white paint. And then the pieces that are going in are going to be darker because they're going to be in a shadow. So then you just use your darker paint. That's all there is to it. All there is to it. And you just want to, everything gets softened. It all gets softened. And you're like, what are you talking about, Eve? Softened. Basically just blended together. That's all I'm saying, is you just want to blend it all together. That's it. All right. So now that I have my brighter pieces in there, I really want to make a contrast going on. Contrast. Ooh, big word. I just want to make my darks really dark and my whites really white. That's it. Contrast. I'm using big fancy stuff here, right? So I'm going to grab a smidge of black, the tiniest amount of black you've ever seen. And I am going to grab some blue. Black and blue. And I'm going to do a little dab, dab, dab. Right? I'm just going to dab it into my brush a little bit. Dab, 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 dab. Okay. And I'm going to go in here. And like I said, this part, the parts curved out are going to have light. Parts curved in are going to be in the dark. So this is curved in. Right here. So, right underneath, I'm going to do a little zig-a-zag-a-zoom action. Right, little zig-a-zag-a-zoom. Ziggy-zaggy-zoom. Right underneath that curve right there. Right, so I'm just following that down. Ziggy-zag-a-zoo. That's it. And I am just going to turn around and zig-a-zag-a-zoom this all out into this piece. So I'm using a very, very light touch. If you notice, I didn't use very much paint at all. And I am just zigzagging, zooming, and softening this line out. So, nothing crazy going on here. Nothing crazy. So, I am just going along that line I made, doing a little wiggle, wiggle, back and forth. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Maybe do a little pull, right? Just do a little pull. You could do a little pull action. See, I'm just pulling my brush, going along that line. And then I'm going to turn around and soften this out. All right. You can pull this way to blend it out. Do a little bit of that zigzag. All right. So I'm just softening that out. So, and if you noticed, that automatically, this kind of looks like a lunch bag, doesn't it? Now that I'm looking at it in the camera, kind of looks like a lunch bag. So if you notice, that put this in the back and this out front. That's how simple that was. That's it. Right? That's all you got to do. All right. Now I'm going to grab that same little bit of black and blue mixture that I have. Small amounts of paint. Very small amount of paint. Hardly any paint at all. Okay. And I want to come in here and do the same thing. Right? So I have the highlighted part there. So I'm going to come in here right next to it. And I'm just zigzagging like this. I don't want any strict, hard lines. I don't want any harsh lines, okay? And I am just going to zig-a-zag back and forth. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I'm just zigzagging back and forth. That's it. That's all we're doing here. Very little paint. Hardly any paint at all. Can you hear my brush kind of rubbing? That's because now there's no paint on my brush anymore. I'm just pushing the whatever I put on there around to soften it out. That's it. We're just softening this out. When you get to the top part, I'm just softening that out. That's it. Just pushing the paint around. There's hardly any paint left on my brush. I'm going to flip it over and do another, just soft. Soft, 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 soft. Everything's soft. Right? Nice and soft. Okay, so now I'm going to turn around, and since there's no paint on my brush, I'm not even going to bother cleaning it. I'm going to go back to that white again. I'm going to go back to that white again, and I'm going to go right back into that higher piece, that piece that was folding out towards us. And now I'm just going to push that around. I'm just going to push that around. That's it. right? So I am just smashing that in. Very little paint. If you have to grab more paint, that's fine. Grab more paint. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So, just going to put those in. It works better if you do the sound effects. It works better if you do the sound effects. So, say hello if you're practicing with me. So far, I've got Gina Marie, and we've got Gracie, and we have Pasha, and we have Tammy. So, hello, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well on this Tuesday. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, basically, that is the whole basis of doing this. So then, now it's just kind of playing. Now you're just going to turn around and add those lights and those darks and the spots that you created, and you're just going to play. That's it. You're going to play. We're just playing now. We're going to just grabbing more white paint, and all right, let's see right here. A really bright. Oops, just dropped my brush. Fumble! I got paint everywhere. What else is new? If this is the first time you guys are watching me, ask any one of the fan members that have been around a while. I must drop paint every single video. If I don't drop paint, it's not an E's Creations paint party video. That's for sure. I just fumbled my brush right out of my hand. It's all good though. Alright, so I put a bright white spot on here. See that? Just flew right out of my hand. And I'm just following along my line, nice and soft. Nice and soft. And I'm going to pull it down. Nice and soft. Everything is soft here. Everything's soft. Soft, soft, soft. I'm just going to pull that in. And soften this top part out. Just softening this stuff out. That's it. We're just doing soft, soft, soft. Okay, and then on the bottom here, we obviously need some more shadow going on. Right, so I'm going to grab that blue, and I'm going to grab that smidge of black, tiniest amount, and I'm going to finish this off down here because I didn't do it. So I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to put in a line right there. Right there. That's where I want it to be. So that's the fun thing about creating and doing fabric and painting and us doing these practice sessions together, because, this is your world. You can do whatever you want to do. It is all gravy. Alright, so I finished that edge off, and I'm going to finish this edge off just by smushing a little, right? Because this is just practice, so I'm not too worried about all that stuff going on. Not too worried about it. And I'm going to grab my white paint. I'm going to grab my white paint, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to add a piece of white paint right on the top of that crease right there, right? So I'm going to add some white paint, add it right to the tops of these creases right here, right? And just a little smush because I don't want to lose it. I always do that. I wind up losing my darks and my lights. It happens all the time. Happens all the time. So I'm just grabbing some white paint, putting this fold back in there, and let's see, I want to grab some white paint, and I'm going to put this fold back in there, right? I'm going to follow just along that line, right? Just like that. Okay, so that is some extreme creases. Some pretty extreme creases going on. Okay, so I'm going to grab, now say you don't want it as extreme. So I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush just because it's getting a little dry. Just because it's getting a little dry. And I'm going to go back into that blue-black mixture. Okay, so just a little bit of blue and a little bit of black, right? Not a lot at all. It's a very small amount of paint. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do that zig-a-zag-a-zoom, right? I'm going to put in that dark piece, right? But now I'm going to start grabbing my small amounts of my lighter color paint, right? So I'm going to put that in next to it. And then I'm going to grab even lighter paint. And I'll put in that next to that. So I got the 3 different shades going on, dark to medium to light, right? And then I'm going to wipe off my brush. And we're just going to soften this all out. Just by running my brush over it. We're going to soften that all out. So now it's a fold over, but it's not as drastic. It's not as drastic. Okay, so I put those 3 shades, right? Darkest, 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 and then something in the middle, and then lighter, 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 and then I just run my brush over it, and I'm softening it all out. Okay, so now we have a fold over, but it's not as harsh. It's not as harsh as a fold over. Okay, and I'm just going to grab some white paint, and I'm going to put this line back in for myself, and I'm going to soften that out. Right, so I'm going to soften that piece out. So now you have your fold over, but it's not as harsh, see? So now it's just nice and soft and flowing. Nice and soft and flowing. So you still created a shadow in your fabric, but it's not like a divot. Ooh, there's a fancy word for you, divot. And I'm just grabbing my white paint, and I'm just going to put in that lighter piece. And there you go. So if you want nice soft gradual things, like so if I did this, then if I was going to keep going with that, I'd put in like another light piece, like right here. All I did was grab white paint. That's all I did. So I put in like another light piece right here. All right, I'm going to wipe that off my brush. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to blend these 2 together. Right, so you can do these like soft creases too. You don't have to do those drastic creases. You can do soft creases in your fabric too. So it's giving it some movement, but it's not harsh. It's nice and soft. See, this one is like a real fold, like bam, folded. This one is just kind of like it's doing a little bit of a wave. It's doing a little bit of a wave, that's all. Nice and soft. Right, nice and soft. That's all. So, as you're working with draping fabric, now you could turn around and you could put like a complete fold over in this if you wanted to. Right, so you could turn around and I'm just rinsing my brush off. Right, getting all the different paint out of it, making it nice and wet again for myself. And I'm just going to grab some white paint. And you can turn around, you can do a complete, like a piece, like sticking out, right? So you can do like a swoosh, like that, if you wanted to, right? And then all this would hit light, right? Put that in, right? So this whole piece would hit light. Would be hitting the light. And then you would just soften it. I'm just going over my paint. That's all I'm doing. I'm just pulling it out, softening it out as I go. Right? Lots of blending with fabric. Lots of blending and softening and all that. But just like that, in my world, I just put a whole new piece in. Say this is coming out from the table. And it's going to go swoosh, just like that. So I still have my darker piece in here. And then I put a bright piece right over the top. Say this is, you know, I don't know. Maybe somebody's knee is in the tablecloth. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever scenario you want to think of. but you could turn around and just drop something in for yourself. That's the fun thing. So the things you got to remember, you know, we're just doing, you got to see how your fabric is moving, number one. Number two is, you know, it's just doing light to dark or dark to light, however you want to work it. Some people, I kind of switch back and forth between the two. Some people do all dark and then do their light. Some people do all light and then they're dark. You know, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how you roll, because it's all the, you know, it's basically all the same thing. So I just grabbed that blue and that black that I was playing with before. And I'm just going to turn around and put in a shadow piece again. Just putting in a shadow piece again. And I'm going to soften it between the white and the dark. Right? So my paint is drying super fast. Super fast drying paint. Super fast. So I just added a little bit of water to my brush and grabbed some white paint. That's all I did just now, because my paint was dry and it wasn't blending. So I added a little bit of water to my brush and I just grabbed some more of my white paint. That's all I did to get it to be soft again, to get it to blend for me, because it dried on here like swoop. This canvas is thirsty. Thirsty. Oh yeah. Thirsty canvas. Alright, so there you go. There is, you can do draping, okay? So you have draping fabric. So next thing I want to show you is, say you're doing like a flag, right? So flag's pretty cool. So say you're doing a flag. So we're going to turn around and we're going to come over here. Like I said, guys, if you have any questions, 6,000% ask me. All right, so say you're doing a flag. So I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush. Swirl tap dab my brush. And I'm going to grab, well, Wendy, you have any questions, then just ask me. All right, sweetie? So basically, just to go over it with you, all I did was put the shape of the fabric in, and then I turned around and grabbed white paint and put where I wanted the pieces of fabric that are coming towards me. And then next to those, I grabbed dark paint and put that next to that, right here. Okay, and then you just blend the two together. And then on top of the whole mess, I put in another whole big piece. So me putting this in probably confused you, because I kind of showed you two things on one piece. So I should have just let you see the first piece and then showed you doing a bump out. But keep watching. The flag will probably make more sense to you, because it's something we all know what it looks like. So you kind of have a mental picture in your head already. All right, so no worries, hon, no worries. So for my flag, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to grab blue, and I'm going to grab some white. I'm going to grab blue and I'm going to grab some white, and we're going to do. That's all right. Watch the flag. The flag might be a little bit easier to understand because you know what one looks like. When you're just doing folds of fabric, it's hard to picture what they look like. Okay, so we're going to do a flag. So we're going to turn around and I'm going to come out. I'm going to swoop down and swoop out like this. Okay, let's put a straight part on this guy. I'm going to come out. We're going to come out and we're going to pull down and we're going to swoop out like that. Okay, so there is a flag shape. It's all good, Wendy. I got you. I got you. You're gonna see it on the flag better, because you know what a flag looks like. It's hard to see it when I'm just doing a tablecloth, because you don't know what's in my head and what's in your head. It's probably two different things. So doing the flag, we might get on the same page here. Okay, so I just put in squiggles. If you notice, I matched up the squiggle part. Okay, and now I'm just going to color this in. I'm just going to color this in. all I'm doing. Okay, just going to color this in. So when we did the tablecloth, I wanted to show you it was the whole point of the tablecloth part. Maybe I can make it a little clearer. The whole part of me showing you the tablecloth piece was to show you that it's just, fabric is just blending shadows. So dark spaces and light spaces. That's all it is. So fabric is just, and it moves. Those are two things you have to remember. That's it. You have dark and light, and you blend in between the dark and light, and that fabric moves. It has movement to it. So you're going to be doing a lot of swoop. You're going to be doing a lot of swooping. Swoop. Okay? So we're just going to fill this in now. Just grabbing blue and white. Okay? So I'm just going to fill this in. We're just filling this in. Nice and easy peasy. No stressing. Just filling it in. Just like that. Okay. And I'm still using my 1-inch flat brush. I'm just filling my flag in, that's all. Okay, so I gave you guys the ketchup mustard, making a flag shape for yourself if you're practicing along with me. If you're practicing along with me, and we got Pasha and Tammy and Gracie and Gina. Hello, everybody. And Wendy's here. So, like I was showing you on the tablecloth, all I wanted to show you was that fabric has the light, the highlight part, and highlight means it's just brighter, and then it has the shadow parts, which those are just darker, and you can soften in between those, or you can leave them as very stark lines. It's up to you because it's your fabric. And it's the same thing with anything you're painting. So I'll show you on a flag. So this way you kind of get the direction I'm going in, because you know, it might have been a little hard to see with the tablecloth. That's okay. That's all right though. It's all good. Okay, so see how this is bending? All right, so this is this is like this. And then this doing a bend, and then coming out. All right, see how I put a swoop here and a swoop there? All right, so this is doing a bend right there. So on this bend, I want to make this brighter. So I'm going to grab some white and a little smidge of blue. Okay, white and a little smidge of blue. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to follow this swoop. Okay, I'm going to follow this swoop right here. And I'm going to make this brighter. Okay, so that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Right? And I'm just going to pull the paint and soften that out. I'm going to pull the paint and soften that out. Right, now I'm going to grab my blue and my little bit of black. So I'm grabbing blue and the smallest amount of black, and I'm going to come on the other side of where this crease is, and I'm going to make that darker. I'm going to make that darker. Okay? So, and then I'm just going to pull that out. Just to soften it. Just softening. That's all I'm doing. I'm just doing a little zigzag zoom, a little smush smush. Just to soften it out. That's all. That's all I'm doing. Just a little smush smush. So, now you can definitely see where this flag is curving around, and the piece of flag that is coming out towards you and the piece of flag that is in the background. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my blue and my black a little bit more on my brush, and I'm going to fix in here. I'm going to fix in here, putting the darker color in. So now you can see how it's waving. Yes, so it's just a swoop, just like that. That's all I'm doing. So I just did a little swoop. Just a little swoop. Just a little swoop. Swoop doo doo. That's it. So we're just doing a little swoop. And see, if you notice, it looks like a big curve because of putting in the light and the dark. But if you notice my curve, it's not very big at all. This is my curve right here. This is my curve. That's the curve. That's it. So we put dark on one side of the curve. We put the dark on the one side of the curve. And then we put the light on the other side of the curve. That's all I did. So I put the curve in, and I'm making this part light. But it's not a very strict curve, so I'm making this part light. And then I put dark on the other side. That's it. That's all we're doing. So, and if you look up here, that's exactly what I did. So it's not a very steep curve. It's nice and soft and simple. Nothing major. But when we put the darks and lights into it, it makes it look very drastic. Right? Makes it look drastic. See? So, if you do a curve, and as soon as you put these darks and lights in, all of a sudden, it looks like a very steep curve, but it's not. It's not. It's a very slight curve. That's all. That's all. Easy peasy. Yeah, well, that's what I figured, Wendy. Wendy says that's way better than my tablecloth. That's what I figured, because the tablecloth, it's hard to picture what you're doing. Because what's in my head and what's in your head is different. So, but doing the flag, we kind of have the same thing in mind. But it's the same exact concept. So you could turn around and make this into a tablecloth if you wanted to. It's the same concept. So, but maybe this was a better explanation. I had to get warmed up a little bit. So, but you're getting it now? So that's all that matters, as long as you're getting it. Because, you know, it's easier when you have something in my head that matches your head. You had no idea where I was going with the tablecloth. So, you know, wasn't making any sense. Because you're like, what is she doing? Where's she going? So, but with the flag, you could see where I was going. All right? So, now, you could turn around and do, remember, now, same thing with the tablecloth, but in the flag, you could turn around. So this was the harsh line. Like, so just like the tablecloth where I showed you the harsh line, this is the harsh. This is the very, you know, a definite separation between the light and the dark. Okay? So, but you can do the soft bend. Right. There you go, Wendy. Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. Great. Love it. So, now, the same thing, you can do a soft bend. And the soft bend is when you blend the dark and the light together. So, just like on the tablecloth, I'm going to do a soft little bend in here. So I'm going to turn around and this part's coming out. And then I'm going to make this part going in and this part coming out again. Alright? So what I want to do is I'm going to turn around and I'm going to grab my, I'm just grabbing some white and some blue. Okay? Small amounts of paint. Alright? So this part's going to be coming out towards me. So I'm going to put the lighter color on there. Okay, I'm going to put the lighter color on there. Because this part's coming out towards me. Alright? And this part we already know is coming out towards me. So I'm going to put the lighter color on this side. Because we know this is coming out towards me. Because we painted it that way. Right? So I'm going to put the lighter color. Right, so this is the we could call it the bold fold. There we go. So this is the bold fold, right? Because there's definite separation between the dark and the light. And this one is going to be the soft fold. All right, so I got light on both sides of this. Okay, I got the light on both sides of this, and now I'm going to make this part dip in. So I'm going to grab my darker color. I'm going to grab my blue and a little bit of black combo I've been doing. And I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to put the dark. I'm going to come in here and put the dark. So this is the soft. Okay, so you have your bold fold, and now we're going to have a soft fold. So once I put that dark in, now I'm going to wipe off my brush, and I am going to turn around and do some zig-a-zag-a-zoom. I'm going to do zigzag zoom. Alright, I'm just pushing the two colors together, and then I'm going to soften it all out. So that is the soft fold. Okay, so that is the difference between the two. We got a bold fold going on here. That's Wendy's term now. And then we have a soft fold. See? So this way, you can see that this piece is coming out, this is going in a little bit, and then it's coming back out again. Okay, so that was the difference of what I was doing. So one is a very strict line, and one is a soft line. And now doing the flag, you can see that better, because we know what we're looking at. We have a common object that we understand what we're looking at. Those were the two things that I was doing in the tablecloth. But you didn't know where I was going. So that's fine. It doesn't matter how we get there, as long as we get there. All right, guys? So, Pasha and Tammy and Gracie, Gina and Wendy, you guys all said hello, hello, hello. So, hello. Right. Aha. You got it now, girl. It's all good, right? Doesn't matter how we get there as long as we get there. So now it's starting to make sense, right, sweetie? All good, sweetheart. No worries. No worries. So I was showing the same thing in the tablecloth. See, the soft fold is here, and then this was the bold fold. We're gonna call it a bold fold. Okay, same stuff, all the same stuff. All right, so I'll give you guys a chance to catch up mustard. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. I hope everyone is doing well on this Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for painting with me and practicing with me. I really, really appreciate it. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is, say it's wrinkled and sitting on a table. Okay, so say your fabric is wrinkled and sitting on a table. All right, so I'm going to grab a new canvas just to show you, so you can still look at that. And I'm going to grab a new canvas to show you it's sitting, say it's a piece of fabric sitting on a table. Okay, so give me 2 seconds while you guys are ketchup mustering with the flag. So now you guys understand the 2 different ways to do a bend in fabric. Okay? So I'm going to grab a new canvas. And we're going to do this. We're going to do fabric that is all scrunched up. We're going to do fabric that is all scrunched up. Okay? Alright. So let's move it back here. And let's do fabric on a table. Okay, all scrunched up fabric. So, we're going to start off, right? We're going to just make a square. We're going to make a square. And I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush here. Right? And we just want to make a square. So let's do pink. Okay, I have to get some clean white. So let's do pink. You guys want to do pink? Let's do pink. We're going to do pink. That's what we're going to do. So I'm grabbing white and I'm going to grab some red. And I'm just going to make a very wonky square. Okay, so we're just going to do a square or a rectangle or whatever you want to call it, right? So I'm just making a very wonky square. Okay? And we're going to fill that in. So, white and red. White and red. Okay? So, I see some creepers out there. You guys can say hello. Hello, 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 if you'd like, or if you're just coming on, if you're just catching me now, that's fine. So, we did a tablecloth that was very confusing. And then we did a flag that turned around and made it all better. So I'm grabbing white and I'm grabbing red. And we're just going to fill in this square. And it's funny because as I'm filling this in, I already want to like start putting the lights and darks in. Which you can do for yourself. Like in your brain, you could turn around and start telling yourself, oh, well, I'm going to have it fold here. Or I'm going to have this piece coming out or that piece or... You know, but you know, as you're filling in your base coat. Hi, Lisa. Good morning. Good morning, sweetheart. So, as you're filling this in, you know, you can let your brain tell you what's going on. Right? So I'm just grabbing white and red and we're just coloring this in. I'm just coloring this in. No rhyme or reason, really. I'm trying to do it with no rhyme or reason. I'm so used to just starting to put the lights and the darks in as I fill in my space, but I'm going to try not to do that so I can show you how to do it. I can show you how to do it. And you guys will get to that point. You know, you guys do this enough times. When you start painting fabric, you're going to automatically start putting in your bends and your folds without even really thinking about it. Without even really thinking about it. you're going to put in your folds and your bends and all that happy stuff. Just putting in your first layer. But I'm going to try not to do that so you can see the process. Alright, so we're going to fill this all in pink. Pink, pink, pink. Like a little pink fabric napkin sitting on a table. Right? Little pink fabric napkin. Hi, Grace. Gracie, you're welcome, sweetheart. I prefer a photo to copy from to create a flag or tablecloth. The bend is shadow. Yes. So the bend, well, so the bend, let's do the flag. So, because this one everyone seemed to understand better. So the bend is actually both. You're going to have your piece that's inside and your piece coming out. So when I say you're doing a bend, you're actually creating the bend. So it's not necessarily the shadow, it's both pieces together that is creating the bend. Okay? So we have the highlighted piece coming out and then the shadow piece going in. Okay? So you can have a bold fold like this. That creates a bend. Or you can have the soft, blended swoop, for lack of a better term, that creates it. Okay, sweetheart? There you go. All right, cool beans. Okay, so let's finish putting this in. Yep, so doing reference photos, guys. So if you don't know about it, if you go on to Google, there's a spot in the tabs that you can hit the word images and it'll bring up all these pictures of whatever you're trying to paint. Okay, so we're just going to put in this pink paint right here. Just going to put in this pink paint. Okay, so now I'm going to show you creases, which, you know, creases are still bends. It's just this is laying flat, so it would be creases and not necessarily bends, but you guys get the idea. So I'm going to turn around, and I always start with the light in fabric for some reason, because, I don't know, it just makes my mind see it better. So say this thing is all scrunched up, right? So I just grab some white paint. Yes, right. So the bends from like a wind blowing a flag. Right, exactly. So that's what you're paying attention. That's what you're creating, doing the lights and the darks and making the swoops. Okay, so you can have bold folds, you know, like with the very strict, harsh line, or you could turn around and have soft ones that kind of are just nice and soft and flowing like a light breeze in the spring. Like a light breeze in the spring. Okay, so I grab my white paint and I'm going to turn around and say there's a crease right up in here. Okay, so I'm going to put some white paint right there. And I'm going to come out this way. And I'm going to come out this way. Okay, so say this is, yes. So say this is just, you know, this is just a wrinkled up napkin on your table. Okay, so I put my white right in there. And I'm going to have a piece coming out like this. And I'm going to have a piece coming out this way. Okay, so this is a wrinkled up napkin. And all I did was grab some white paint to show where my wrinkles are. Okay, so I'll put those in. So the next thing I'm going to do now that I know where my top parts are, right, where the light is hitting, now I'm going to turn around and put my darks in. All right, so I'm going to swirl, tap, dab my brush. I'll swirl, tap, dab my brush. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to grab some of my red. Right, just grabbing red paint now. And right underneath here, I'm going to put in the darker colors, right? So I'm going to turn around and I'm going to zig-a-zag-a-zoom. I'm just going to zig-a-zag-a-zoom and put in the dark, right? Tell my brain, all right, this is where dark stuff is. This is where the dark stuff is, right here. Right underneath that crease. Okay, I'm going to grab a smidge of blue, microscopic amount of blue. Just to make it that much darker. Look, microscopic amount of blue. Right, and I'm going to come right under here. Right, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to come under here, and I'm going to put this in. Right, so I want this nice and dark. So this one's really dark right here. Now I'm just softening it out. I'm just softening it out. Just softening it out, right? Nice and soft. Right? Nice and soft. And I'm going to come underneath the center one with the smidge of blue. Because I want you guys to be able to see this. That's why I'm doing this with smidge of blue. And I'm going to come under this line. Alright, I'm going to come under this line. So I'm just pulling with the brush. And I'm going to soften this out. I'm going to soften this out. Okay, so we're going to soften this piece out right there. We're just making it nice and soft. Nice and soft. Okay, and then I'm going to put it in here. Alright, so grabbing my red and the tiniest smidge of blue. And I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to put in the dark in here. Right? I'm just going to soften this out. Oop, too much blue. See that? Too much blue, guys. Too much blue. That's all right. I'll just grab some more red. No worries. No worries. So I'm just going to grab some more red and soften this out now. That's what happens when you do live from your phone. I just got a phone call. So, I'm just going to soften this out. Soften that out. Just like that. Okay. So, I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush. Swirl tap dab my brush. And I'm going to turn around and do my lighter pieces. So I'm going to grab my white, a little bit of red. I'm going to come up on the other side. And I'm going to make this lighter right here. Make that lighter right there. And I'm just going to grab a little bit more red to blend this into the rest of my napkin. Okay, grab some a little bit more red, blend it out into my napkin. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my red and my white, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put in the red and the white in here now. Right? And soften that in. Just softening it in. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Just softening it in. And the red and the white on this piece. And just softening it in. That's it. You notice I'm just going back and forth. That's all I'm doing. I'm just going back and forth. Just going back and forth. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Okay, and now that I have like my spots, now I'm just going to play. Now it's just playtime. Now it's just playtime and blending between my darks and my lights and all of that happy stuff. Alrighty, so now we're just going to play around. We're just going to play around with this, and it's going to be all soft blends. Alright, so right, if we wanted a bold fold, right, so if we wanted a bold fold, we'd just put a white line in here, and this would be a bold fold, right? Bam, just like that. See? Now that's a bold fold, because there's a definite separation between those two. So that would be a bold fold, right? And then this could be a soft blend right here. So I'm just going to put some darker paint. All right, grabbing my red and my blue and coming in from the edge and just blending it in. Just blending it in. And now I'm going to grab a little bit of white, and I'm going to put I jump back and forth between lights and darks. Like I said before, some people do all their lights and then do their darks. You know, it's completely whatever your preference is. So now I'm going to grab my lighter color paint, and I'm just going to soften that in and then kind of swoosh between the two of them. All right, so you see how this piece is coming out towards me, and then that's going towards the back. And then if I want the bold fold, I'll put this in here nice and stark. Bam. Just like that. Nice and dark. Right? So that put that all the way on the bottom. Now I'm just grabbing some red paint to soften this all out. So that put that crease right on the bottom, right? So there is the bold crease. And then we have the soft wave right here. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my lighter paint. If you notice, I'm not cleaning my brush in between everything. I'm just grabbing white and I'm grabbing dark. And I'm just playing around, guys. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. And I'm going to turn around and grab my white paint. And I'm going to come in here. And then I'm going to soften between these two. So I'm going to do a little zig-a-zag-a-zoom. Do a little zig-a-zag-a-zoom, and then I'm just going to soften it out. I'm just going to soften it out. Nice and soft. Nice and soft. Nice and soft. And I'm going to grab some red. Grab some red. Grabbing some red, that's all. Grabbing some red. And I'm just softening this all out. Do a little wiggle wiggle, a little wiggle wiggle scribble. And we're just going to soften that out. I'm just going to soften that out. And I grab my blue because I lost my little crease in there. So I'm just going to put that back in. Just going to put that back in. And I'm going to soften this one. Alright, so I'll tap dabbing my brush because it's getting a little dry on me. Okay, so we're softening in between these two. Whoop. See, I lost my dark again. See, it's okay if you do that. It's okay if you lose your dark and your lights. You know, you just put them back in. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. As I'm blending, I get a little too happy with one piece, and I wind up losing all the other pieces. So it's all good. All right, so now I'm going to grab just my red paint. So all I'm doing, guys, all I'm doing is blending, right? I wanted this to be a bold one, and then I wanted this one to be soft. So I went from my dark, and I added light, and I blended it all out. That's all I did. And now I'm just grabbing some red paint. Now I'm just grabbing some red paint and blending it out even more. Blending it out even more. Right? Because this is fabric, so everything is soft. Everything is soft. Okay, so nice soft strokes, nice and light. All right, and then this piece right here, I want that connecting to the back. So I'm going to put in a white line. I'm going to put in my bold white line again. And I'm just pulling now. I'm just pulling. That's all I'm doing. Just pulling. I'm pulling, and then I'm making it soft. Pulling and making it soft. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Right? So now I turn around and I'm going to put my white line in right here again. And I'm going to soften that out. Soften that out. And I'm going to soften this part out. Just grabbed a little bit of red just then. All right, and grabbing some more red. And I'm going to make the back of the napkin here go back down towards the table, but I'm going to put my bright line in once more. Give a little pull to soften it. And now I'm going to turn around and make this part go back down. So I'm going to grab the darker colors. Alright, so this part's going back down, so I'm grabbing the darker colors now. That's back down. So put that back down. Put this corner down. Whoop, too much blue. Too much blue. So you can scribble, you can smash, you can do all sorts of things just to get the paint on there. Right? You just scribble and smash and do all this fun stuff, and then you just want to make sure you soften it out. That's all. You just want to make sure you soften it out. Just softening it out. That's it. Right? And then where these two meet, I'm going to grab my white again. I'm going to put that back in. I'm going to put this back in. And then I'm going to wipe off my brush, and then between these two, I'm going to soften between these two. Okay, just softening it out between these two. Okay, so then you have fabric on the table that has all these bends and creases and all sorts of fun stuff happening. And you know, I'm just going to play. I'm going to put this one in darker. I'm going to put that piece in darker. Right? Make that bold fold that we did before. So I'm going to put that bold fold back in. I like those. I like the bold folds. Then again, I like anything bold. So I like the bold fold. So you can just put that back in. So, and then, you know, if you want to do a shadow underneath your fabric, right? So you can, I just grabbed black paint. That's all I grabbed. All I grabbed was black paint. And I can do a shadow underneath my fabric. Okay. And do a little shadow over here. Right, so I just grabbed black paint. That's all I did. That's all I did. I'm going to do a shadow on this side. Okay, so there you have a crumpled up napkin, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of looks like a mountain range, doesn't it? Just the way I did it. So we have a very bright side. We have the dark side because the light's hitting from here. We have a soft fold right in there. So a lot of it's just playing back and forth. I could probably play with this for like another hour. Yes, it certainly does. It certainly does. So, hi, Margaret. So if you ever want to make anything look more real, give it a shadow. Give it a shadow. So, I wanted to go back to my flag because I wanted to explain if you're putting a pattern. If you're putting a pattern with your bends, okay? So, I wanted to go back to my flag. And, so let me switch this out. I want to go back to the flag and I want to show you if you're putting a pattern, like if you're doing the stars and stripes, how this would go along the fabric. And if you guys have any more questions for me or anything you want me to show you, let me know, because this is the last thing I'm going to show you. So easy to remember, right, guys? So yes, actually, you missed that? You missed that one? Oh, you missed the flag. There you go, Lisa. So the flag was a bold, stark contrast, and then just a soft bend. The American flag, see, I actually got smart and decided to do a How-To Tuesday that's going to piggyback with Friday's painting. So this is going to be Friday's painting. I have some more to finish on it, but so there is your flag in Friday's painting. So see how the pattern is bending along with the flag. So this is going to be Friday's paint party, guys. This is Friday's paint party. See my shadows in my fabric, right? So this is Friday. I hope you're all going to show up. I didn't finish the doggy yet. So this is going to be, that's going to be Fridays. So there's your American flag, Gracie. There you go. There you go. All right. So I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush. Actually, I'm going to grab a smaller brush. So let me grab a small round. This one I call Tiny during the paint parties. He's just a small round brush. W Mac, hi sweetheart. Awesome. Hi W Mac. Yep, you're gonna have to put a Canadian flag in there. I know you guys have an independence kind of celebration. You have Canada Day or something, don't you? All right, so if I'm putting in a design, all right, let's just do, why don't we just do like white dots or something? No, let's do stripes, because stripes will show you better how to put a pattern in. All right, so I'm grabbing white paint, and say this flag has a pattern on it. All right, so say it has stripes. There you go, Canada Day, July 1st. I knew you had something. So say it has stripes, right? So I'm going to take this stripe, and it's going to go there. But on the bend around, you have to follow the movement. So if you pictured this, this is lower, right? See this? This is lower. So you're going to put your stripe lower, and you have to follow the bends that you made. So what I mean by that is this is going to be lower, right? So here's a stripe, and then when it shows up on this part of the flag, it's going to be down here, and it's going to bend that way, in this way, and then out. Okay, did you guys see that? So I'm going to draw another one. I'm going to put another stripe on here. So if you're doing a pattern on folded fabric, you have to follow your bends that you made. Okay, so let me do another one. All right, so this is going to be straight because that's flat, and then the rest of this line is going to be lower, and it's going to bend out that way, and then it's going to bend in this way, and then it's going to bend out that way. Okay, notice I followed the wave that I put into my flag. Okay, so that is when you're doing a pattern on fabric, you have to follow the folds that you put into the fabric. Okay, and it's the same with anything. So, and also, say you have a numbered amount of stuff. Say there's 3 dots here, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so say these 3 dots go all the way across. Then you're going to have to turn around and make sure you follow your pattern. So then this would be 1, 2, 3, that way. Right, Gracie, you got it. You see the line, you see the stripe, and you follow the wave, follow the fold of the fabric. So you have to bend, and you bend this out because that's coming towards you, and then you bend that the other direction, and then you bend this out. Okay, so you have to follow whatever movement you put into your fabric because you're a king. You're the king. You have to follow that. So again, a stripe would be like this, and then it would be down here, come out this way, and then you'd bend it in, and then you'd come back out again. Just like that. All right, guys? So, I think I showed you some good basics. That's what we're going to call them. We're going to call them some basics to painting fabric, right? Not much. It's not like rocket science. So, basically, you just, you can have a bold fold that we talked about, right? Very dark and then very light, not blended. You can have the soft fold that you blend those colors together, just doing swoops back and forth. And if you're going to do a pattern, you're going to have the pattern follow whatever movement you put into your fabric. So, I like your patience slowly explaining. No worries. That's what I'm here for. This is the whole point. Again, this is free to watch. Tips are appreciated. Anybody that sends me a tip will get Mr. Nifties. I do give these out for free with any gratuities because these are really cool. And you can do awesome, awesome details with them. If I can get the cap thingy off. I can't get the plastic off. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so Mr. Nifty. heading your way for any support sent. So I thank you so much for watching me today, How To Tuesday. And if you're watching the replay, have any questions, definitely get in touch with me. And I hope that helps, and it should help. I think it helps. And I want you all to have fun and go create, okay? So I just had so much fun with you guys today, fam. Thanks for watching me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You got it, WMAX. So hopefully I'll see you all on Friday. And we'll put some of these little tricks to the test. Put these little tricks to the test. Gracie, so a Nifty brush. Nifty is my name for the brush. I named him Nifty. I name all of my brushes. So when you come to a paint party, you're going to see I name all of my brushes. And Mr. Nifty is this little guy right here that I discovered. And if you see the point on him, he is amazing to do detail work with. And I send these out. They're just little tiny small little things. And that's why I call them Nifty, because they're pretty nifty. And I send them out to anyone in my fam that sends me support. So that's how that works. Thank you, Margaret, so much. Thank you, sweetheart. So, thank you, guys. I have a lot of new fam members tonight. So, Gracie, you're new, and Margaret is new. And so, welcome to the family. And I hope to see you all on Friday. Same bat channel, same bat place, 7 o'clock Eastern. I do this every single Tuesday. If there's something you'd like to learn, 6,000%, tell me what it is. I will put it on my list to show you guys. If it's something I already taught, I'll try to find the video and post it on my page for you, since my videos don't have titles. Or it might be on YouTube. You can check my YouTube channel out. So I'll put the YouTube channel in. That's what I'm gonna do. So I will put that in for you guys, so you can check that out, because there's a lot of how-tos on the YouTube channel. So you don't have to play around with not knowing what's what. Because like me and Gracie were talking before, I don't know what Facebook did, but it took all my titles away. It took all of my titles away. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Welcome to the fam if you're new. You all warm my heart. Have fun and go create. Okay, have a great night. Bye guys.